Greetings and good day, everyone. I would like to invite you on another adventure to one of the most beautiful and unique places on our planet, the Subway in Zion National Park. Now, before we get started, let's take care of some housekeeping issues. Permits are required for this hike. You must apply for one and acquire one. And when you pick it up the day before your hike, a park ranger will interrogate you to make sure you know what you're in for, and it's really for your own safety, people. You will be doing about 4 miles out and 4 miles back. That would equal 8 miles total approximately, and there's a 400-foot drop into the canyon. Some of the sections are loose rock and sand, so just be careful, find your way. And speaking of finding your way, this is not a maintained trail, even though it is in Zion National Park. You need to pick your own way, find your own way, so a GPS, an app, or a map is required. And you should totally plan on spending 6+ hours on this hike. Be sure you take plenty of food and water with you. It is totally exposed, so in the hot summer months, account for being in the hot sun all day long. Okay, everybody, so I thought this might help. I brought up a map from the AllTrails website. It's also an app that I have on my phone, and I use it often when I'm hiking, and I used it on this hike too. One important thing you need to know is if you have the app on your phone, you need to actually download the specific map onto your phone. That way when you lose cell phone service, which you most certainly will on this hike, if you have it downloaded on your phone, it's still able to track where you are and be usable. Once you've done that, down here on the bottom left of this map, you'll see the trailhead start. This is where you park. And it's about a half-mile hike along the rim, and then you get to the descent into the canyon. And this is about 400 feet down. Not overly hard, but it is 400 feet down, and there is some sections of loose rock and sand. So just be careful, take your time. I made it. Anybody can do it. When you get to the bottom, there's one tiny little sign, the only sign on the entire hike. It's so easy to miss. But this is where when you get to the creek, turn around, pull out your camera, your cell phone, whatever, take a picture behind you. Try to really memorize this area because this is where you're going to exit the creek to come back up out and get back to your car. Probably the most common mistake is people miss the sign, they miss the turnoff, they stay in the creek, and next thing you know, they're another mile down the creek, and they're like, wait a minute, I don't remember any of this. So take a good look and remember it. The hike itself is pretty self-explanatory, but you're picking your way. This section here is grueling. It's a lot of just creek walk, boulder hopping, boulder crawling, scrambling, crawling under, over, and around, just trying to find the best way to keep following the creek. There are 2 tributaries here that you do need to pay attention to. And pretty much you want to stay to your right and you'll be okay, but you don't want to wander off here off track. And that's why you got to keep an eye on your AllTrails map or your GPS, whatever device you have. About halfway, you'll come to 2 large white rocks on the left bank of the creek. And if you look at them, you'll actually see dinosaur tracks in there, which is a really cool find. This was the first one of our eye on the prize, so to say. We wanted to get here and even up to here before the sun crept up over the bank and put harsh sunlight into the canyon. So keep your eye about halfway for these dinosaur tracks. It's a real cool find. Up here, the canyon starts to turn red, and you'll run into a group of waterfalls. There's probably 3 or 4 major ones. Archangel Falls, Guardian Falls, Keyhole Falls. These are all in this section here, and they're just stunningly beautiful in this canyon. And again, we wanted to get here before that harsh sunlight crept in, so we really just kept our feet moving and didn't do anything photo or video-wise up here. Here is where the actual subway starts. After the waterfalls, you come to what they call a crack, and then you'll round the corner, and then this is the section of the subway that you can walk up into. Stunningly beautiful, and I would say for photography, you want to be here almost midday-ish, like between 11 and 1, and if the sun is up and it's not a cloudy day, you'll get that canyon glow where you'll walk to the end of the subway, you'll turn around, and then you'll look, and the canyon glows almost like it's the headlight of a subway train coming around the corner. Very cool to see, very unique, and totally worth all the gruelingness of this early section. The bottom is elevation, and as you can see, we'll start here at the trailhead. It's fairly flat, But then here you got the descent into the canyon, the 400-foot drop. And then it's really a slow slog, and it's all uphill on that creek walk. You're actually gaining over 600 feet of elevation here. And then obviously the return coming back in. So hope that paints a little bit of a picture of what we're doing, and maybe it'll help some of you out if you get to actually go on this extraordinary hike. Let's get onto it. Jim and I were tempted by dozens of small waterfalls like this along the early portion, but keeping our eye on the prize, we kept going until we finally found the dinosaur tracks. Such a cool find. I read somewhere that being a three-toed dinosaur, they could have been like a velociraptor or some type of raptor like that. I don't know, but either way, no matter what they were, really cool to be placing your hand in the exact same spot that a dinosaur once walked. Knowing we were getting close, we pressed on even further. We wanted to get to the red rocks and the waterfall, knowing that's where our adventure would really begin. This mile or so stretch with these waterfalls and the red rocks in the canyon was beyond beautiful. As one who loves waterfalls as much as I do, I really could have just stayed here all day and been very, very happy with that. But I had that annoying little voice in the back of my head that told me we had to keep moving, that there was more to see and we needed to get there on schedule. So on top of this last waterfall, we came to an area known as the Crack, for kind of obvious reasons. With the majority of the creek water forced down into this little crack, it was just a geological wonder on a hike that seemed to be full of them. So inch by inch, we made our way up the super slippery slope, for just up ahead would be the geological wonder this hike is named for.
Yep. There's usually a lot of that up ahead.
Then as we came around that final bend, we could see the entrance to our final destination, Welcome to the subway, everyone.
Oh, there's a little waterfall right in there.
What a truly incredible hike full of amazing sights. On the way back to the visitor center, Jim and I stopped in the town of Springdale, where we had a great meal with a few ice-cold beers as the perfect way to end that day. After dropping Jim off at his car, I then wandered back through town, admiring all the Christmas decorations, and was even kind of surprised that, oh look, this one's moving and it's a real deer. But as I wandered around, my mind also wandered around. And as I thought about this day, it was incredible to spend it with Jim, and we reached all of our goals, reaching every destination with the perfect lighting scenario. And just like the rest of the trip, it was just an amazing day that I'll always remember. But I was also feeling sadness, and as I saw the Christmas decorations, it just reminded me of home. And really, the only thing that could have made this trip any better is if my family was here to enjoy and experience all of these wonderful things with me. So while I was excited to experience the next couple of days out here, I was also longing for home and missing my family. Time to head back to the lodge and get some much needed shut-eye. Tomorrow will be my last adventure in Zion National Park. Hope to see you there, everyone. Take care.